Hello and welcome everybody to everybody in the clan who's listening to this. This is the first episode of the RoM Sandbox ClashCast. Hopefully not the last episode. So we're going to see how this works out. We're going to try and tie in some screenshots if possible, but otherwise we'll at least make the storyboard available for you to review. I'm here with Murc and I'm Atro in the clan.
How's it going, everyone?
So we had this idea, and the idea was to kind of help newer players learn more about how the clan works, kind of review some wars, review some strategies. Murc and I have been playing for at least a year at this point, we're sort of some of the higher members of the clan and have access to more troops, have done more raids, and especially with all the new people in the clan, instead of spamming the chat every time somebody asks, who should I attack for a war, we thought maybe this idea might be a good idea. So I think our basic agenda, we're going to kind of talk about some of the last wars, some of the clan rules, how our clan kind of works, do some tips for how to build a better base, how to do some raids, and then we'll also go through a couple different battles. So anything else to add before we start?
No.
So we're going to try and we'll try and get this out. We'll do it hopefully monthly, bi-monthly, I don't know, we'll see. But overall, I think we can just kind of start talking here. It'll just be kind of an open forum. And you guys can post comments. Definitely would like to hear if you have suggestions for what to talk about, anything like that.
We do take requests.
Exactly. So I think the last war that we had against Taft's troops, this was a great war to start with because it was 100% participation, which is a big accomplishment. I don't think we've ever had that in the clan. And that was a 25v25, so that's 25 people using 2 attacks. That's a good accomplishment, I would say.
It also ended up being pretty important. If you look at the stats for that war, the other clan used 40 of their available 50 attacks, and we won by 8 stars. So if you start doing the math there, it was a pretty good thing that we used all of our attacks in order to maintain that lead.
And the other part of it is, and we can kind of talk about the strategy of how to do war, is I think we had gotten a lot of attacks early, gotten to a decent lead, so it's like you end up at the end, you might have some of their lower guys who just think that there's no way we're going to win, there's no way I can help, and they don't even try to attack. So it kind of pushes some of the pool of available attacks for their clan out. Plus, you have people who don't participate, people who bounce from clan to clan doing wars. I think they had 2 guys who started.
Yeah, they had 2 guys who were involved in the war but left the clan in the middle. And to pile on Atro's point here, one of the things that happens when most of a clan's attacks left are at the lower level, it becomes harder for them to score any stars. The easy ones are always at the bottom. If your bottom third has all your attacks left and they have to attack your opponent's upper third, it becomes much more difficult to go out and grab those stars.
And we've kind of found that in our past couple wars of it. A lot of it comes down to, like Murc said, our top 5 versus their top 5. But at the same time, maybe I'll kind of try and go slide by slide here so that if people want to have to follow along. So we were first looking at the first slide, which has the war stats. But if we go to the second slide, the second slide is more stats. So
the first 3 slides are all stats,
but on the third slide, I wanted to mention that if you look at our last 5 wars, we're 4 wins, 1 loss, and the 1 loss was by 1 star, and we had their number 25 guy that we couldn't get their 3rd star on, but we had left some attacks on the table. So I mean, really, I kind of consider that a virtual 4-0-1. We ended up losing, but at the same time, another reason why participation from everyone is key. Typically, if you maximize participation, you're going to get some free stars in there that you wouldn't have got if people wouldn't have attacked. So, I mean, I think we've definitely turned around the clan because you can't see below that, but if you were to look below that, there's a lot of red in there.
Yeah, we had a rough streak where we lost 5 or 6 in a row, but we've definitely turned the corner since then.
Yeah, and I think especially with the new members of the clan, everybody definitely pitched in this past war. So I mean, I think we've definitely turned around the overall clan. So I guess we'll just kind of start. Would you want to talk about the clan overall, how we kind of work in terms of our clan motto?
Yeah, our clan motto is certainly, it's participate and have fun. That's the best way to describe our clan. We're not a mandatory gem use clan. There are plenty of those out there where if you're not buying gems, they're going to be upset. what we're basically looking for, people show up to the war, contribute to the war, and take your attacks, and just kind of stay active. At the top end of the clan, we're interested in making the clan stronger, and the best way to do that is to help the folks who are starting out and who have lower level bases get better. So we're willing to donate as many troops as you need, as often as you need. Never ever be shy about asking for troops, and that includes if you want to take them out on raids. Tell us you want to take them out on raids, and we'll stock you up. We fully recognize the faster you can accumulate some more gold and some more elixir, get your guys upgraded, get your turrets upgraded, the better you're going to be, and the better off we're all going to be in the wars. So, basic rule of the clan: request away. And those of us in the top third, we will hook you up with everything that we've got.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Especially since when at the lower levels and the lower trophy counts, when you're being matched versus other town halls, I mean, the troops that you get from the top guys are going to go much further than the troops that you can currently produce, and you may not even be able to produce some of the troops that we give you. So don't hesitate to request whatever you want. If you're really trying to get that last 2 to 500K or whatever you're trying to do, and you really need some dragons, just say, hey, I need some dragons for raiding. No problem there. I mean, people are happy to donate dragons. We got into an issue before where we had some members who would just waste the clan units, and hopefully everyone's not wasting them, but at the same time, like, again, request away, we'll donate away, and we're going to get experience out of it, so it's beneficial to us at the top, and you guys are going to get better troops who hopefully maximize your raids, maximize your loot.
And we'll cover tips and tricks for better raids in a future clan cast. But for now, we'll just kind of leave it as do what you can to get better, and we're happy to help in whatever way we can.
Yep, definitely agree. So let's go through some of the battles for the war. I'll start with in this last war. If you go to the war screen and you go to is it war? No, it's war stats.
Yes.
War stats, and you scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a best attack, best defense for each clan. So since this is the first one and we're kind of throwing it together last minute, I chose to just kind of use those that the game had said, hey, this is the best attack, best defense. So the first one, the best attack for our clan was Roog. So if you go to, this is slide, 4?
Yep.
4 of the slideshow. And hopefully these will be up on the screen as you're watching the audio. These will pop up, but we'll see if we can get technology to work for us. So when you look at this clan, this layout, this is the enemy's layout, and Roog is the attacker. There's a couple things that I think we can maybe highlight that we can notice that would help drive the strategy. And then as you go through the slides and we go through them, you'll kind of see how the attack unfolded. So, I mean, Murc, if you're looking at this, like, what are the things you see that are obvious red flags here?
So there are a number of things that this person has done wrong in both the base layout and in what's in the base. So the very first obvious thing, if you look at the top right-hand side of the screen, you can see the clan castle. It's way too far to the edge, making it very easy to draw out the clan castle troops and get rid of them before you start your attack. You're always going to want to have your clan castle for the war near the center of the base and make it difficult for your opponent to get those troops out of there and hit them with a lightning spell or a wizard attack or something like that. Other obvious things that this person has done wrong, you can see in the center, that's a level 9 town hall, which means there should have been 4 air defenses available. This person has only built 3 of the available 4 air defenses and has not finished upgrading them. There appears to be 1 level 5 and a couple of level 4 air defenses in here. Those air defenses could be up to, at a level 9 town hall, I believe, up to level 7. They should have been level 6 before this person went to level 9, but regardless, they're not high enough. You can also see that all of the air defenses are on the left side of the screen. They're not staggered well enough, meaning if one were to come in from the top right-hand part of the screen after drawing out the troops with some aerial attacks, those air defenses wouldn't do any good. Other things that you notice, the Barbarian King, also way too far outside, too easy to draw out. The Archer Queen hasn't been built yet. Maybe this person didn't get up to enough Dark Elixir, don't know, haven't really gone back and followed the original base, but that's a big thing. And then overall, as you look around, virtually none of the other turrets have been built up to their maximum extent. The wizard towers, the cannons, the archer towers, and even the mortars are all lower than what they could have been before going up to level 9. what you really see here is a combination of a bad base layout and somebody who went to a level 9 town hall before finishing all of the available upgrades at level 8.
Yeah, and agreed. And the other thing about, just I'll drop in about the Barbarian King being on the outside, that Barbarian King, especially if you use the strategy Murc talked about, starting from the top right at the clan castle, you can pretty much just ignore him the entire battle until the end. And maybe you can get some troops in there. He's not going to engage you until you're near the wizard tower and that last air defense. He's not even going to come close to engaging you.
And another problem there, he's barely within the range of that air defense. Barbarians attack ground only. So if you dropped a couple of minions on that Barbarian, the air defense may not hit him at all, and they may wipe out the Barbarian King unopposed.
Exactly. So as we kind of go, this is slide 4. So let's go back 1 second and look at what Rug has chosen to do here, which is he's a dragon heavy attack plus his Barb King, and he's going to go 3 lightning spells. So when you talk about the spells that you use, maybe not everybody in the clan isn't able to carry 3, but for Rug, 3 lightning spells indicates he's going after a turret. Typically, probably an air defense, especially since he's a dragon heavy attack and he's got some wizards in there, I'm assuming, for the clan castle units. So you can kind of see how he structures this attack, and we can go on to the next slide. So if you go to the next slide, yeah, you can see that now he has 0 lightning spells, and the air defense turret and the mortar are gone. So one nice thing about hitting an air defense, especially in bases like this, I mean, he was targeting the air defense, but he got a full mortar, and he got at least half.
3/4 of the other mortar as well.
3/4 of the other mortar.
And half the damage on the cannon that was sitting near the air defense as well.
So that's definitely one strategy to kind of cripple, especially one air defense, which will allow him to sort of target where his dragons are going to go. Now, he doesn't have any rage spells, but he doesn't necessarily need them. So you can see what he kind of does here. He starts at the bottom right near that second air defense. So the other thing to point out is typically when you build a base, especially in wars, and especially this guy is probably a mid-level guy, you want to, when you have 3 air defense, you typically want to stagger in a triangle right around your town hall. What that's going to do is maximize the double engagement of 2 air defenses at the same time. So when you fly in and start triggering the first air defense, you're likely to get either the left or the right air defense in the triangle to also start engaging. And the more missiles that you have, on dragons, the better. So what he's done here by putting these air defense on the outside, he's allowed Rug to just drop 4 dragons, or however many dragons he dropped, 2 or 3, to start out with, kill the air defense, and now nothing on the right side can even touch his dragons.
Yep. And then Rug took kind of a split strategy here. You can go to the next slide, and you can see he drops more dragons at the top to take out that air defense as well. A dragon is going to wipe out an air defense before the air defense gets the dragon. It's an important thing to realize that you need support around an air defense. So if you look at this slide with the dragon on the top, you can see the only real support for the air defense is this wizard tower, which isn't going to do enough damage to the dragon. The dragon's going to knock out that air defense before it gets killed itself. And if you go to the next slide, you can see that the air defense is down. The dragons just run rampant over the entirety of this base. The archers and the wizards that are left are not going to be enough to take out the dragons. There are likely a few traps hidden around here that might be of some use, but they're not going to take out enough of the dragons without the air defenses and support.
Exactly. So he's kind of left a couple wizards here in reserve, his clan castle units, which he didn't really need, and his Barb King, which he really isn't going to need right now. In fact, his Barb King's the enemy's Barb King is already dead from the dragons, since it can't even engage the dragons back. So let's see if we go to the next slide. You can see that he dropped the Barb King. He triggered some Tesla towers, but I mean, look how many dragons he has left. He still hasn't used all of his troops, and the base is already half dead. I mean, this is a clear 3-star attack. I mean, he's targeted the right units, the right defenses to target to kill first, and now it's basically just a cleanup exercise.
Yep. If you come here to Rug 7, you can see with 12 seconds to go, he's still got 3 active dragons. The only active defense is that 1 hidden Tesla. It's a non-upgraded hidden Tesla. So again, your Tesla at Town Hall level 8 can go to level 5. This is a level 1 Tesla that's never been upgraded. So it's going to be child's play for those remaining dragons to wipe out those last 3 buildings opposed by only that 1 unupgraded Tesla.
Yep.
And if you look at slide Rug 8, you can see exactly what happened.
Exactly. So this is definitely, I would consider this a really good strategy, especially for Rug is more into the middle of the clan.
Yep.
So there's probably a lot more people who can look at this and benefit from this strategy of how he did this. But yeah, overall, I mean, a dragon attack targeted. He had a clear strategy going in mind, a bad base layout, took advantage, got 3 stars.
Yeah, absolutely perfect attack.
So we'll go to the next slide. This is what, 9? Slide.
This is the first one. Best defense, Jodius.
So Jodius, he's a middle member in the clan. He's what is that? Town Hall 7.
It's a Town Hall level 7.
Town Hall 7. He's still got some air defenses that he's kind of upgrading, but he's built the base the right way, I think, for his level. He's got all the collectors and the army camps. Which one thing to mention for the new guys in wars, collectors and storages do not hold your actual loot. They hold just a set amount of loot, so there's no benefit to keeping them in the middle of the base at all, other than, a roadblock because you didn't have any other troops. And you can kind of see that here, how he's lined the outside of the base with the collectors, the golden and the elixir collectors. And
the advantage there is most troops go after whatever's in front of them. So giants will go after turrets, golems will go after turrets, wall breakers will go after walls, but barbarians, wizards, archers, dragons, P.E.K.K.A.s, pretty much anything that you've got, the very first thing that catches its eye, it goes after. So by putting that artificial ring around your outer walls, you can really hurt somebody, and you can see on the slide that there's 180 archers here. Well, these 180 archers are going to have to cut their way through all of those outer buildings while under constant fire from Jody's defense, in order to get near the walls and actually begin to start taking shots at those defensive turrets.
And you can also know that, I mean, in this particular attack, it doesn't necessarily matter since he's using all archers for this attack, but he's also used his walls, I think, in an effective manner for this particular level of base by putting an extra ring around the town hall, so that if you end up getting some barbarians or some giants left over at the end, they have to break through those pink walls to be able to get to the town hall at the very end. He's also got his clan castle as tight as you can be when centering the town hall in the direct middle, so you're going to have to kind of pick a side. But you can see that he's got it in the middle. It won't trigger initially, unless they send troops in one particular spot. So if you go to the next slide, I didn't actually number these, but maybe I can number them before we're done. But go ahead.
So what you'll see is a massive deployment, this initial 27 archers that are all going around. They're pretty spread out, which on one hand for the attacker, okay, it makes them harder to kill. You can only get them one at a time. On the other hand, those are level 4 archers. They're not that effective. It's going to take them a while shooting one at a time to take down army camps, collectors, anything like that. So what you're looking at is a massive time sink to try and get through that first ring, assuming they survive. Now what you can see here, you can see the cannons firing, you can see the archer towers firing, you can see the mortars firing. Most of those archers are within the range of at least one defensive turret. So they're not going to get an unmolested shot at any of these individual buildings.
Yeah, definitely. So if you go down, you'll see that he continued to drop even 50 more archers, and now he's kind of gotten a couple of the outer perimeter buildings. But there's a big red flag here that you can see that this person screwed up the rage spell. Looks like they just mistapped on their phone or whatever, and he double dropped a rage spell with no units. So this is something that is going to happen when you're raiding, and something that's going to happen when people raid against you is you may, misdeploy a spell, but that's really going to kill this guy's whole possibility to even get a star here.
It's in fact compounding a mistake, because one of the things you'll learn is that rage spells and archers don't really mix.
Yep.
You want to use rage spells on heavier hitters. You want to use them on wizards, dragons, giants, P.E.K.K.A.s, things like that. Your archer is never going to do enough damage that the rage spell is really going to make a difference between a star and not a star.
Yep, definitely agree. So you can kind of scroll down, go to the next slide. He also deployed the clan troops, which were he tried to drop a lightning spell, which was obviously not working. He's relying on archers to get through pink walls, and he's still in range of a mortar and a wizard tower that does splash damage. I mean, this is a fail waiting to happen. And as you can see, with only 6 seconds left, this person got close, but Jody's defense was able to hold, and for no stars. And this is, I believe, a 48% attack.
Yeah, it was a 48% attack, and you can see on the next slide, you can see At the top of the screen, there's a wizard and a Valkyrie that have come out of the clan castle, but they're in range of a wizard tower, a cannon, and an archer tower. They've got basically no chance. And you can see at the bottom the other wizard tower wiping out an entire group of archers at the same time.
Yep. So going down, I think this is the summary screen. 48%, no stars, perfect defense. Great showing by Jody.
Absolutely.
So on the next slide is the best enemy attack, and kind of what I wanted to highlight here. This was against Heisenberg. It's more of just an example of how even having very high level troops, it's tough to get through a base. So we can kind of walk through, unless you kind of want to skip over this one.
So the one thing that I would want to highlight here, especially for the newer folks. During the war, you're going to get attacked by somebody with some really high-level troops at one point or another. So if you look at this attack, level 6 archers, level 6 giants, level 5 wizards, level 3 hog riders, level 5 barbarian king, level 5 archer queen.
And I was going to say level 5 is a big level for barbarian king and archer queen because they both get abilities. And even more importantly, they get health back when they activate their abilities. So they get extra guys. The barb king gets extra guys. The Archer Queen gets invulnerability or invisibility. But they both get a third of their hit points back, which is huge.
Right. And so what you can see, we'll go through these quickly. You can see the deployment of a couple of giants at the bottom of the screen to draw out the clan castle. Pretty effective, pretty classic strategy that allows the opponent to wipe out a number of the defensive troops by using a smart strategy, which is drawing them to the place where you want them. So if you go to the next slide, you can see that those wizards have now moved to the far right side of the screen. They're chasing a couple of archers who have been attacking a builder's hut. And then you can see after that, the wizards are congregated. The attacker surrounds them with a group of archers. The wizards are only hitting a small group of the archers at a time. They're going to get wiped out pretty quickly. There's really nothing you can do about that. All you can do is exactly what Heisenberg did, put your clan castle in the right place and hope that your troops can waste enough of the enemy's time in order to make it difficult for him to 3-star you.
Yep. So we can kind of scroll through here. You can kind of see the strategy. He dropped some heal spells, dropped his Barb King, coming at Heisenberg, had some wall breakers in there to try and get through the defense. He starts pushing in towards, but still, I mean, he's used a decent amount of troops and still only has 8% damage. So
right, but you can see kind of the strategy in reserve. He hasn't dropped his two biggest hitters, which are those level 5 wizards and those level 3 hog riders. He's clearing a path over here in this right-hand corner to make sure that he's set up to deploy those troops for maximum damage. And if you go to the next screen, you can see that he started to bring the wizards in along with a bunch of giants that are going to essentially play human shield for the wizards.
Yep. So we can keep scrolling down.
As you go through, you can see the giants start moving into the broken walls. The wizards are hanging back behind, so the giants are the ones taking the pounding, while the wizards are getting free shots at the various buildings and starting to do some serious damage. And at this point, 25% of the base is gone.
And the hog riders are now deployed. You can kind of see them in a cluster, but he's also dropped a healing spell that's wearing off. The hog riders are going to run through.
Right.
So you can see here that at 56%, he's already lost a star. Half of the base is gone, but he does. All the troops are deployed at this point, and with only a minute to go, if we continue to scroll down, he is going to lose the town hall. But still, I mean, with all those high level troops, they were only able to get 70%. He still saved a star, and that was against, I think, their number 2 guy.
I think it was their number 2 guy. Yes.
I don't remember who Chips was, but
no.
So anyway, yeah, that was that. That was a 2-star, but still a good defense by Heisenberg.
Absolutely. It's a key example of how base layout can save you even when you're overmatched.
Yep.
The important thing is limiting the number of stars. It would be nice to never give up a star. That's not realistic. Giving up 1 star is always fine, and even giving up 2 stars against a higher level opponent, not a big deal. If you can avoid giving up that 3rd star, which is really hard to get, you've done something right on your defense.
But don't do yourself a disservice by having a bad base layout and just getting overrun by somebody, because the other thing is attacks are at a premium. So we have only a limited number of attacks, and if you can, every attack that you defend against with a guy is an attack that somebody else higher has to use, or somebody at least equal level. So if you go to the next attack, the thing I wanted to highlight here, there's 2 different strategies. So against Mystic Death, this was a dragon attack that I did, but I wanted to do a tale of 2 layouts here because I dragon attacked Mystic Death and he dragon attacked me back, and they were definitely two different attacks here. So you start to see the base layout. His air defenses are low for a Town Hall 9. They're only level 3 max. So this guy is what we kind of termed AJ'd himself, if you know anything about the history of the clan. When you upgrade your Town Hall without upgrading all of your structures to the max, you've AJ'd yourself. So if you see people saying that, that's what that means. And we can explain it later. But as you kind of go through here, you'll see what I tried to do. I dropped all of the dragons in 2 spaces at the bottom right and bottom left, and the idea there was to get rid of those 2 bottom air defenses and then let my dragons just go to the Town Hall because they're going to go pretty much unabated. I also dropped my Barb King. At this point, I dropped him to kind of, what I did first was I dropped my Barb King to get rid of that first initial structure that's in front. That kind of directs the dragons a little more towards the actual defensive structures and helps them not spread out as much. So when you do that, you can go to the next slide and see that when I drop the dragons, the other thing that I think is important to note here is when you drop a rage spell, you want to drop the rage spell so that the very bottom of the rage spell touches the dragons and starts them off. You don't want to push on the dragons and drop a rage spell because you're wasting half of your rage spell. So you can keep going down and you'll see at the 1 minute 34 mark, I've dropped 2 rage spells and activated both my dragons in there. They're now starting to push towards the Town Hall. Keep scrolling down. At this point, with 1:10 to go, my dragons are a little more spread out, but I dropped the last rage spell on the 2 or 3 dragons that are in the center to make sure I get that Town Hall, because if I get the Town Hall, I know I'm going to get to 50, I know I'm going to get 2 stars. So you can keep going down, see that I didn't 3-star this person, but I did get the 2 stars, and this person was a high member of the opposing clan.
And you can actually see, by the end, you get to the 12-second mark, when the last dragon gets knocked out, 75% of the base is gone. When you consider that there were 2 Expos, which were very powerful weapons defending this Town Hall, and that there was a lot of ground to cover, this base, the base layout here was actually pretty good. The way it was spread out forces the dragons to take some time in order to get to the middle. What really hurt this person was the lack of upgrades of all of the air defenses and the other turrets. If those were level 6 air defenses, like they should have been, this attack probably doesn't even happen. We can probably look at it and say, you know what? Even 10 dragons aren't going to get through here. Let's find another strategy.
Yeah, agreed. So then on the flip side, this slide's called Base Layout Matters. So this is, maybe this was a different attack. Oh, you know what? No, that was just a dragon attack. This against Amish was a level 10 Town Hall that only took me 57 seconds to 2-star. But it's another mention about how the layout matters, and he has 4 air defense. 2 of them are outside the base. That's just awful. You never want to do that. So my strategy here was I just want to get to that level 10 Town Hall. I should get 50%, no problem. If I can just take care of that 1 air defense on the bottom right side, I can get through this. And he actually attacked me back. This is the attack I was talking about. So we can scroll through these quickly. A minute, I dropped my dragons all in one spot. I wanted to go straight to the Town Hall. I then add rage spells in there to help push them along.
And you can see an example here, too, of having your clan castle too close to the edge. Those troops come out, and while archers and wizards might be effective against a single dragon, 10 dragons are going to make work of them in maybe 2 seconds.
Yep. So you can scroll down at the 40-second mark. I've dropped the first rage spell. Barb King's out. I think I actually didn't deploy the Barb Kings. I was too focused on the dragons. I don't even think I got to deploy the Barb King, which was a mistake, but it happens. At the 36-second mark, I've dropped the second rage spell. I'm moving and getting rid of that air defense. I'm going straight to the Town Hall. There's 6 or 7 dragons there. I have really no worries about it. But for good measure, I want to make sure I get to the 50% because I was teetering on not getting to 50% and only getting the Town Hall. So I dropped the last rage spell at the 20-second mark. You can keep going down. At the 6-second mark, I've just gotten the 51% and the 2 stars, so I'm happy about this attack. This guy was a high-level guy. So you can go through that. On the flip side, just an attack revenge example. So this is my base. You can see the tightness of the air defense. You can see the diamond, square pattern, whatever you'd like on there for the mortars. And the clan castle is as tight as it can be. So this is this is a spiral type of base, but it's just a different type of base strategy. But so he's going to try an 11 dragon me, and he's actually going to use as a level 10 town hall freeze spells, which you don't hardly ever see at all. So he has 5 freeze spells available, and what a freeze spell does is for 5 to 8 seconds, not exactly sure, it stops any air defense from engaging any
defensive turret from engaging any target.
So he starts to drop his Barb King and Archer Queen, and then he starts to drop his dragons. He has no rage spells, but as these dragons move through, this is the minute 41. Has he even dropped his dragons yet?
No, yeah. He drops his dragons here at a minute 27. He puts them all in the same spot.
Okay. So then going down from there, my air defenses, those bottom 2 are going to start engaging as soon as he gets up to where that cannon is. He tries to freeze them out, but his dragons haven't gotten really close enough to matter, so he's freezing them when they're really outside of the range pretty much anyway. So he drops 3 already right there, and so he only has 2 left. You can see when he drops the other 2, all of his dragons are gone, and at the minute 8 second mark, you can see that I've got this guy for sure.
Right, he's got the only dragon that's pointed at the clan castle at this point at the minute 8 mark is down to maybe 1 hit from an air defense. The air defense directly in front of it is frozen, but as Atro said, with the tight coverage, having the air defenses together, that air defense on the left, it's continuing to fire. It's going to knock out that dragon before it can do anything to the town hall.
Yep. So then you can kind of see with the 51 seconds, his dragons are really spread out. He's going to get the 50%, but he's not going to get my town hall by any means. This guy was a top 5 guy, and he's only going to 1-star me. So you can kind of go down and see. At the end of the base, 74% he got, but only 1 star. I'm happy with that.
Right, and it's an important thing to remember. In theory, you can lose 99% of your buildings, but if that last building is the town hall, you've only given up 1 star.
Yep. I don't know if you want to go through.
Sure. Probably the last example we're going to give here is effectively drawing out the clan castle. This can really be make or break from your attack. You'll encounter different layouts for the war camp, and you'll encounter different troop combinations within the clan castle. What you want to do is you want to draw those troops out, and you want to get them to a point where you can effectively dispose of them, and you want to do it fairly quickly. So one of 2 things tends to happen. You'll either get a dragon coming out of the clan castle, in which case you're going to have to surround it with archers and wizards and blow it out of the air, or you'll get single troops. You'll get wizards, archers, things like that, in which case you can kill them with lightning. In this particular layout, what you'll see on the bottom right-hand side is this little box that has a wizard tower and an air defense. And I'm pointing that out because when I looked at this base, my thought was, what if I draw the troops out near that air defense and get a 2-for-1 with my lightning spells? So you can see what I've done is I've sent a couple of wall breakers to take out that first level wall. If you go to the next screen, you can see I've blown a hole in the wall. What I'm going to do at that point, go to the next screen at the 2 minute 4 second mark, I have dropped a giant in there, and the giant has drawn all of those troops to that exact point. So now the clan castle is empty, and all of those troops are sitting right there in front of the air defense, in front of the mortar, and in front of the wizard tower.
One thing I'll add here is that he dropped them in a 1 giant by 1 giant fashion, so that when the giant dies, all the troops stop. They don't go back to the clan castle, they just sit there. So if you were to drop 5 giants, they're going to continue to move and engage those giants. So what he did here was just 1 guy, draw him out to a spot, they killed the giant, no big deal, they stopped, and then from here.
And what you can see on this picture with the 2 minutes 4 seconds, you can see the lightning spell just about to hit. And what did I do? I dropped 1 lightning spell, wiped out all the troops, dropped a 2nd lightning spell and the 3rd lightning spell, and that also wiped out the wizard tower and the air defense. And all of a sudden, 1/4 of his air defenses are gone, all of his troops are gone, and you have an area of the screen that's now vulnerable to a dragon attack, a minion attack. If I put healers back behind somebody, the healers are going to be okay. It's really set the stage. And what you're going to see here is I actually screwed up something in this attack, and because I had gotten this first part right, the screw up didn't prevent me from getting the 2nd star.
Yep.
So if you look what I did on the left side of the screen at the minute 42 mark, I dropped giants to try and draw the attention of all of the turrets on that left side. The intent was to send the hogs in to take out the air defense wizard tower combo on this side. Unfortunately, the hogs went a different direction than I expected. The hogs went into the fray to back up the giants, when what I was hoping they would do is go hunt that air defense and that wizard tower. That ended up being a huge deal, because while I was able to do some damage there in the middle, not being able to knock down that air defense delays the deployment of my dragon, and it delays the deployment of my healers. I ended up having to send a couple of wizards in this attack at the 136 range. You can see I've started dropping wizards. And if you go to the next one, at a minute 8, I had to drop all of the rest of my wizards. My giants are gone, my hog riders are gone. I have not done as much damage as I would like, and now my healers are potentially in range of that last air defense, while my wizards are trying to get there and take out the air defense and the wizard tower in order to clear a path for my other troops. So what you can see down here, by the 29-second range, I finally managed to get that through. You can see my P.E.K.K.A. on the right side is still going with the healer behind it. The only reason that's happening is because I wiped out that air defense in the first place. On the left side, I've got my Barbarian King in there, and I've got him drawing the attention of those remaining archer towers and the opponent's Barbarian King. And what you can see I've done is I've dropped my minions here at the bottom of the screen to go make a run at the town hall. The key there is I've got one of the remaining Teslas going after my P.E.K.K.A. I've got the other Tesla that's going to be looking at my Barbarian King and the barbarians he summoned on the left side. What does that distraction allow to happen? It allows my minions to come straight up the gut, along with whatever remaining support I have, and get a free run at that town hall. So with 15 seconds remaining, you can see that the Seeking Air Mines deployed. That won't affect the minion, so I'm not really worried. I deploy the last 2 minions, and the last 2 minions sneak in there with just a couple of seconds to go and wipe out the town hall as my last 2 troops before the Tesla ends them. So what you see here is this ends up still being a 2-star attack despite something going wrong, because I started it the right way with the strategy to draw out the clan castle troops and wipe out that air defense with a lightning spell.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a perfect example of our tip of the week, which is definitely the clan castle. Draw it out, and as we showed before, make sure it's in the right spot in your base. So we can skip the last one if we're short on time, which is fine. The last one is just a hog attack, and not everybody in the clan has hogs yet, but it's a good idea because your base strategy, you're going to have a couple different strategies for how you lay out your base, whether you want to be anti-dragon or anti-hog, or just anti, like, go wipe, which is golems, wizards, P.E.K.K.A.s, which is an attack strategy. So you're going to want to just take a look at this, and you can see where the hogs were deployed, how this person used their heal spells, and how they used their dragons to... this is C-Mac. He was on our side to take down one of their guys. I believe he 2-starred at least. Maybe he 3-starred, actually, because I think he destroyed their base at the end.
He certainly got a good way through.
Oh, yeah, he definitely 100%.
Yeah, this ended up being a 3-star attack. It was a heavy hog attack, but he also had a couple of dragons backing it up. And one of the nice things is hogs go over walls. So if your hogs get over the walls and they start taking out air defenses, it really cleans out the space for some of your aerial troops coming in behind.
Yep. So I think that was all the sort of overall battle recaps we wanted to do. I think the only thing that we can really stress to the new guys, this would be tip of the week number 2, would be don't AJ yourself. Make sure, take the time and be patient. Upgrade everything that you can possibly upgrade. Walls would be the only thing that maybe you don't take to max, but I mean, especially before you go to Town Hall level 8, Murc and I did this. We went all the way to purple walls. So when you get, so what happens is when you're at Town Hall level 7 at the max, you're the top dog at Town Hall level 7. When you go to 8, you're the very bottom Town Hall level 8. So do yourself a favor and make sure your walls are all upgraded to purple before you do that. The other thing is when you raid, you're going to see other people at your Town Hall level, maybe lower, maybe higher, but you're going to get more as a 7 attacking a 7 or 8 than an 8 attacking a 7 or 6. So you're doing yourself a disservice by going to Town Hall level 8. You're going to go up against much higher people that are going to crush you. You're going to lose loot, and you're not going to be able to see as much loot, so it's going to take you longer to raid.
Yeah, it's incredibly important. If you can max something out, if you have something that can still be upgraded, go upgrade it before you upgrade your Town Hall.
That includes research on troops, too.
Absolutely.
Because, again, the more loot you can get and bank, the more, both Murc and I, when we started the Town Hall upgrade to 8, everything was done, and by the time the 8 days passed to get to Town Hall level 8, my storages were both at max 4 million. So I had 4 million. As soon as I turned over to 8, I used all my gold, all my elixir, got upgrades going, and I was ready. I was in a much better spot than a lot of people. So I think that's all we kind of had for today. Kind of going over. Let us know. Like I said, I don't know exactly what medium, but I'll post on the clan message board where you can find this. Also, I'll try and coordinate the slideshow. If not, I'll post the slideshow somewhere to make sure. And yeah, let us know. Give us comments, give us feedback, and we'll try and do this more often.
We'll catch you guys at the war.
Yep. Good luck.